When anything is wrong with one of your children, it hits you more deeply than anything does. My son Owen and I share this dark sense of mortality because of serious illnesses that we've had, and it's created a bond between us that's much different from the bond that I have or that we have with the rest of my family.
In 2005, my left lung collapsed 3 times, and I had surgery to fix it. And my right lung collapsed once, and they did the same surgery.
In 1984, when I was 27 years old, I was hospitalized for 6 weeks and ended up having my colon removed because of a radical case of ulcerative colitis.
In 2007, my liver failed, and I spent 2 weeks in the hospital.
And then in 2008, I learned that I had prostate cancer, and I had the prostate removed, and then learned that my cancer was very aggressive, and I had additional treatment.
We've both looked death in the face at a young age.
Owen's lung problem really had nothing to do with his liver failure. That was just biological bad luck. The colitis that I had back in the 80s is an autoimmune disease, given that Owen's liver problem was an autoimmune problem. And the way genetics work, there's certainly a very good chance that it's not a coincidence that that Dad had an autoimmune disease, and now Owen has an autoimmune disease.
When I was in the hospital and my liver failed, and I had to see my dad crying his eyes out and yelling at the doctor to take his liver, even though he wasn't a candidate for a transplant, that says something. That means something.
The few days when that happened were the absolute worst days of my life.
But unfortunately, this was spring of my senior year, so this was, a week before prom, a week and a half before graduation, and I had a long-term girlfriend, Kate. This was our second prom, but this was our senior prom. There were events and things that I wanted to be at that I didn't know if I was going to get to be at. I actually went to prom for an hour, and I was miserable. And then a couple of days later, I was able to go to graduation, and I don't know, I got through it.
Oh, yeah.
It really affected me knowing that he was carrying that information with him, dark and serious knowledge, and that he had to learn how to bear it.
Now I feel 99% fine. On any given day, I'm not really thinking about all of this. I'm not really thinking about my liver, my lungs. I know I take medication twice a day, but it's just kind of a mindless task, like, oh, take my medicine. But it's become routine. Now I can take like 20 pills at once. It's great.
I'm not gonna hit it now.
How do you think it changed you going through liver failure?
Anything that I do now that I consciously choose to do, I want to do it, and I want to do it completely just because I think that I understand, and I don't want to sound cliche, but how fleeting life is. Like, I think it's something that someone who hasn't spent a while in the hospital might take for granted, the fact that we have life, that we are alive, that we can do things, that there is going to be a tomorrow.
You hear people whining about something, and you just kind of want to smack them.
Yeah.
Owen and I will talk about, very deep and serious things about our respective lives.
We were having dinner last night, just the two of us, because my mom and my brother are away, and he said to me, I'm optimistic about the next 3 years, but if anything takes a turn for the worse in the next year, I'm ready. And that was, I mean, that's not something you want to hear as as a son. The prospect of losing him is something that troubles me, that makes me sad, that makes me depressed.
You know, if I could tack his liver disease onto my cancer, you know, I'd be more than happy. I'd be more than happy to do that. Owen and his brother, just they mean everything.